You're looking nice and refreshed.
Thank you. I'm feeling fresh. Hello, hello, hello. This is Sound Off. And for those of you that don't know what that is or what it's going to be about, hang on. It will be self-explanatory as the night keeps going. We might have moments of, silence or crickets. That's all you're going to get. But then you might have times where things are just a little but in any case, you will be applauding. And having moments of sanity and maybe insanity. But either way, we encourage you all to come in and sound off with us. And really, it's just a show so that people can come in and, oh my God, just to be able to say, oh my God, and keep yourself going in a manner that is going to be, releasing things and getting stuff off your chest. And you know what? I got to say, my first sound off is social media. I love my social media. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, if you post something on any said social media, which I won't, name anything because of the fact that if I name it, I might have to pay them some money later. Who knows? That's another thing that's a pet peeve. But anyway, anytime you post anything that may be a little, I don't know, calling somebody out or, saying something that's not of, love and light. It's not rainbows and butterflies, but it's how you feel. It's what you went through. It's, oh, my God, what am I doing? What's happening? And I know you're going through it, too. And why is it that I get chastised? I get people emailing me, and I get people sending me messages and saying, you're supposed to be an example of birth. I am an example. I'm here to tell you things are not all rainbows and butterflies. This shit happens. And it's okay to talk about it. You don't feed it by talking about it. You feed it by not talking about it, ignoring it, and allowing it to continue. It just continues until somebody stands up and stops and says, hey, it just continues. So what's the point, So why not be able to sound off about it, express yourself. Doesn't mean you got to call out names. I'm not telling anybody to come in here and say so-and-so did this, so-and-so did that. It's not what it's about. We all know who you are. No one needs to call you out. But yeah, just to get it off your mind, to be able to just say, hey, this is what's going on, and I have the right to, vent. I'm like the sounding board for so many people. Let me tell you, they pay me to soundboard, but that's okay, because that's a release for them. Because they can't do it in public. They can't do it on social media, and so no. Whatever. Don't you just love those trolls? They don't do nothing but give you moron ratings. So that's all good. Just blow them off. Or do as I get to do. I have the controls to kick them out and mute them up, which I was headed towards, but he left on his own. So anyway, I know that, a lot of us feel that way, that we can't say anything. And so, screw everything else and whatever, it's like if we keep it bottled up, then it's just going to come out in some other kind of way in your world, and you don't want that. All right, so and I've got some ladies in the room with me, and I encourage everyone else, if you want to come on to the private chat with us, put the link there in the chat room on the YouTube as well as on our Facebook pages, the Paranormal Psychic Network. You can follow us and get all of our links to our live chats. So anyway, we won't drag it on too long. So get in here quick because, I got things to do. That's another thing. I got time. I got scheduled I live by appointment. So, so for Barbara and Chris, do you guys want to come on and say anything? Get anything off your chest? Like I said,
I
you
could
have
say
crickets.
heaps, but I'd better not.
You could say what?
I could say heaps, but I better not.
Oh, you could say hate. Yeah, you could say hate.
Yeah.
If you're really psychic, why
People.
can't you predict when I'm going to join this?
Oh God, people,
Yeah.
I tell you.
Tell me, please.
Oh, so bad.
Why can't you predict?
Why do they have to, you know, it's like, eject. So anyway, go ahead. Oh, trolls, again, they just help your ratings, gives you more views. Let them come in.
Yeah, I wondered what that was all about. Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Why
trolls
is it
everywhere.
people who, yeah, why is it that people who profess to be so spiritual can just do a complete turnaround, just a snap of the fingers?
Right.
Why do they do that?
That's a good question.
Was it feel threatened, or is it ego, or what is it?
Wow. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's none of those. It's all of those things and none of those things. Those things are used against them. I think that people always say we're our own worst enemy. And it's true in a sense that we allow certain things to just start taking over, and thoughts and ego and whatever you want to call it, darkness. We allow those things to permeate our lives, however they come in, because trust me, it's there's energy that can infiltrate and can manipulate and can affect, and that's why you've got people who are just nice and pleasant, and then boom, it's like they become evil. It's like even in a relationship, where you love someone for years, and then all of a sudden they seem differently. they act differently. They're not the same.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, it was just so surprising, and to think that, people who are so spiritual that you've had so much to do with, you've been through that situation.
Over and over again.
And
But,
how to snap the fingers, they turn and they just, that's it, So,
yeah, and it's happened, but for me, it's happened in the psychic world as well as as well as the private world, the secular world, the non-psychics.
Yeah.
But people who were in other groups, it's like you get one person that starts questioning the validity of something, and then all of a sudden everyone in that group is questioning the validity of something that's not has anything to even do with them. It's like it's not your life. Who cares? That person to be sweet and good, but that rumor can just ruin that person's life. That's happened to me as well. I got told I was selling fake stuff, and
and of course the personal stuff that they share with you too, and they forget that.
Oh my God!
Very big personal stuff, and I won't break any confidences. It doesn't matter who does what to me.
Mm-hmm.
They can wipe me, they can call me all the names under the sun, but at the same time, I still respect that confidentiality between us, right. And I will not go and spill, go and say, oh well, this has happened to her, or that's happened to him, or anything else. I mean, do they stop and think about these things, or do they, just forget what they've told you?
No, they know you're a good person, and that you're not going to go around gossiping about them.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm with you. I know some stuff, and oh my God. Oh, hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some stuff, but I ain't gonna go around telling. That's nobody's business, So I'm not a gossiper though, and so they're not worried about what they're telling you because they know you're a good person, and you're not gonna go around gossiping about it.
God, it's from one extreme to the other, isn't it? The way they work, these things work.
Well, and they don't. It's
We all have an opposite. There's always opposites, isn't there? There has to be opposites.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's that
I
polarity
don't know that
thing.
they're. But I think a lot of that's another thing that pisses me off. It's like this stuff that's going on today. How can people sit here and still try and rationalize it by saying it's it's supposed to be like it's polarity. It's duality. I'm one person. I got some multiple personalities going on. I think because I'm a Gemini. But other than that, I'm the same person with everybody.
Yeah. Oh, being a Gemini, well, that makes me laugh to myself because my idea of a Gemini is they're stuffed in the head.
I'm not your typical Gemini.
That's just my funny take on them.
That's okay. I tell everybody I'm not a typical Gemini. That's the other thing that makes me mad is, people live by astrology. I've gotten several charts done and they're all different.
Yeah.
They're all different, and I think I relate more to the Cancer, the attributes of Cancers, but at the same time, my sister is constantly telling me I'm a Gemini, but I'm not a typical Gemini.
But I can see a Cancerian in you as well because I'm Cancerian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
and some of the traits that we're supposed to have, I like to feel that I've sort of got over them. Like sulking, we're supposed to be very sulky. If we don't get our way, we sulk until we do get our way. Well, I like to think that I've got past that now, especially since I've been in the later years, since I've been mixed up in this the spiritual thing.
Right.
And what was it? Oh, there was some other things too, the anger and all that sort of thing. Well, I like to think that I've curbed that. I can control that now, and I'd rather just turn around and walk away than stand and fight back.
Yeah, no, because it's just no good. You can't fix stupid.
No, well, that's right, and you can't fix everyone either. Yeah.
No, I don't even try to fix anyone anymore. In all my relationships, I tried to fix them. And it doesn't work. It doesn't, and I mean all my relationships. It does not just my personal partnerships, but partnerships with just people, working with people in general. I can't fix that.
Yeah.
No, I can only do what I can do. Be the example for how to be, how I would do it.
Yeah.
But
and that's and leave it to their own. It's their own choice, isn't it? What they do, what path they take, whether they accept the way you are or not. If they don't, well, they can stuff off anyway. I don't care anymore.
I know. No.
Because I'm too busy. I've got too much to do to be worrying about, all their little insecurities and things.
Yeah. No, that's one
I had
thing.
my bitch for the day.
There you go. Don't you feel better?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to sort of, see if I could get any more insight, but no, I feel okay about it all. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good. You're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah.
And hello to Brian. That's Mr. Brian Fox. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Brian? I see you heard that troll come in.
Yeah, I was watching you guys from YouTube instead of Google Hangouts, and I saw that person come in, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and join. Maybe they'll pop back up again, and then I could track their IP address and have all fun with them.
No, don't worry about it though.
No,
seriously, trolls are good with me.
I wasn't gonna join tonight. I was just gonna watch from a distance, and then I saw that happen, and that's one of those things that have been bothering me about social media. So here you are complaining about, or sounding off, not complaining. You're sounding off about these issues. Here we go. You get a troll.
Yeah.
So with social media, we have trolls, and trolls are people that are those little demons that are inside of everybody. And one of the things that I always complain about the most is emails, social media, whether no matter what the outlet is, anything that you put in text or typing, allows individuals to put their inner monologue out there for everyone to see and feel, and it's a dangerous thing.
Oh yeah, especially when they self-interpret. They take a little bit of whatever you said and turn it into something totally different, and oh my God, totally just exaggerated from what it was even real. So, oh my God, Yeah.
It's funny because what I do for a living. That's a majority of the way we communicate is through email. And so there are certain individuals that are usually in a bad mood most of the time, or they're defensive. And going back to what the young lady there was saying about what is it, ego, or is it pride, or where does it come from? It really does come from a weird place inside. So when you're sitting there reading an email or reading a text, it's so funny because I brought these people into my office that I communicate with on a daily basis, and I brought this up, sat them down and brought up an email that I had pointed out some opportunities we were having, and I read it to them in the way that I typed it, the way that I heard my voice in my head. And then I read it in the way that they understood it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you had to interpret.
Yes. So,
Put it in
here's an
layman's
example.
term.
I had a little comment that I made in the thing. So, and I mocked the person that came into the room and was making fun of. You're a little troll here on the broadcast that you have. So, but anyways, so if you're a psychic, why couldn't you predict my arrival? And then, so that's one way to look at it, right? That's you got my body language in it. You've got the way that I'm saying it. But then somebody that comes in and hasn't been listening to the conversation, doesn't understand my standpoint of where I'm coming from, sees that comment in there, and say that they're close to you, and they're going to read that, and this is how they're going to hear it. If you're psychic, why couldn't you predict my arrival? There's the difference in interpretation and your perspective of how you hear things or read things online really depends on your mood that day, how well you know the person that's communicating with you. There's so many different variables involved on these different levels. So really, I think the best thing that we can do when it comes to this, because social media is not going anywhere anytime soon, unless we have some kind of gridlock.
Right.
it collapses.
Electricity goes down. Yeah, everything.
So
Which could happen.
How do we change this? We change it with ourselves first. So you mentioned leading by example and being in the spiritual world. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have to start reading things and looking at everything that comes to us in the most positive way possible, and without it being defensive. Because if we read things defensively or negatively, we may be misinterpreting what the true message was in it. Because me, in my profession, I keep it professional. I don't point fingers. I'm not in your face. I'm very, one-on-one with you. But in an email, people get defensive. Because
Right.
they're worried about their image or their pride, or that I'm trying to accuse them of being bad at what they do for a living, or so on and so forth. So, it just comes down to now just changing yourself, inner monologue, and reading things and changing your perspective to a positive one the best that you can. That's not easy to do, so.
No. It is an awareness, though. That inner monologue, because that inner monologue is going on all the time, and so it can be affected by your surroundings, things around you, people around you. I mean, somebody said something to you, and it's like snap, that. But it's being aware that not to react to any of that, even the little troll that came in. I didn't react. I'm just like, oh, thank you for boosting my views, and eject. I love the eject button. I mean, because, it's not going to ruin my night. And if you would have read the description, this ain't even a psychic show. I ain't got to give no reading.
See, that's just it. It's these. You can't change someone's hate. So, it goes back to that old native saying, inside of all of us, we have two wolves. You've got your positive, good wolf, and you have your evil, bad wolf, and they're always fighting each other. And so you got to remember, the one that's going to win is going to be the one that you feed the most. So you're going to feed your positive wolf, or you're going to feed your negative wolf. You can't help the owner of other wolves. You know, you can't help the other people's and their battles that they're having, but what you can do is help your own and keep walking your path. Nobody has to walk in your shoes but you.
Right.
Nobody has to live your life but you, and nobody can live my life or go through the things that I go through or hear my thoughts. And social media, unfortunately, allows us to see thoughts that we shouldn't see. It's not natural, you know?
People exposed to the public that shouldn't have been. Some of
Yeah.
them, I mean, because really they're more like sociopaths, is where they develop, fake profiles, and then they accuse you of doing it. It's just like a cheater, they cheat on you and they accuse you of doing it. The same thing's happening in social media. It's just playing out in different roles.
There is, and it allows people to live the life either that they desire to have, to create the image that they desire to be. To be whoever they want to be. Anybody can create any kind of lifestyle that they want to online and live within that fantasy without actually having to step up and walk on any kind of real shoes. I mean, the things that people say and do and act online would never act that way to your face. And that's the crazy part. You're dealing with a separate personality online, and even with these new social media outlets that are allowing things that are similar to this, the broadcast, people are broadcasting and they're allowing what seems to be a realistic perspective of someone. But even being able to see me and see you and see everyone else that's willing to put themselves out there on video and audio, it's still an illusion. It's still whatever that person wants it to be. It's not real.
I know. Another thing that my pet peeve is commercials. But one just flashed in my head about the dad that's home with the kids, and he puts the sheet up on the wall. It's when they have the video conference with the mom. And then as soon as they're done with that call, spaghetti falls from the ceiling, and the place is just a mess.
Right.
But you're right. I mean, I could put my camera around. You'll see my house is clean and everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing behind me. But it's true. It's really allowed people just to, portray what they want to portray. And it's caused a lot of things to happen, and crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Crazy. Like, really? And I haven't even met these people eye to eye, and this is happening? What? It's like we invest so much emotionally in places that don't deserve it.
No.
It's crazy.
That's where, because I think every single one of us that will either be watching this or are watching this or are part of this tonight, I think we've all been involved with some kind of cyberbullying or some kind of misinterpretation, some sort of, however you want to look at it.
Communications, mistranslation.
Yes. A visualization of an inner monologue that we shouldn't be seeing, or whatever, an ego being ripped apart or someone else's ego being ripped apart, and I think we've all witnessed it. Now we're coming down to the point now where it's, if you don't know who Frankie Grande is, look Frankie Grande up. This guy is amazing. If he says one thing, and I'm a fan of his completely, I'll always be on the Grande. He's Ariana Grande's brother. And I'll always be a fan of him because he started off as a YouTuber. That's how he got big. And he was a YouTuber, and he was a Broadway production. He was in the Broadway before his sister ever became a superstar. He was on YouTube trying to start his own channel. And, he got a lot of heat for being who he was.
Right.
And, there was a point where it brought him down to where it almost made him stop everything. And he had a revelation. You know what? Anytime someone's going to throw me shade, I'm going to shine brighter. And I think now that I hear that in my head all the time, and he preaches that all the time, I think that's where I'm going to be. Anytime someone wants to show me some hate or show some shade, that's an opportunity for me to shine brighter. So bring it on.
Oh, I agree.
Haters going to hate. We're gonna just keep on doing us.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it.
I gotta fix my head thing. Sorry. And Chris, you need to come on and say all this stuff you're typing. I see you pop up in the chat room over there. Or is your mouth full of pizza? Or have you got it yet? She ordered pizza. I don't know if you guys can see what she's saying through the chat room there, but because I have it set up a little different right now because I have the effects up, so we can make stupid sounds like the bone. Yeah.
Is that what was you doing all that?
Yeah. Got new toys. Uh-oh, Chris is trying to talk.
Go ahead.
Was she? Or was that just me echoing with someone else?
No, that was me. I can see what she's typing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'd love to hear her voice. Come on, Christina.
You can multitask and
I've never heard your voice. I've only ever seen your profile pic, on your profile there. Yeah, that's all I know about you. That's all I've seen of you. I haven't heard you or anything. And I'm dying to know, who is this mysterious person?
Well, I'm here. I'm just a huge dork, and I'm waiting for my pizza so I can stuff my face because I don't know what it is about Selena's show, but it makes me hungry every single time.
Food for the soul. So you got to get your food for your belly. That's what we are. Food for the soul.
That's right.
Makes you hungry.
Just for a minute, while Brian was talking there, my little dog beside me, he's always beside me on the floor, and he's rummaging around, and I looked down to see what on earth he's doing, and this crystal, I had a crystal in a little organza bag sitting on the kitchen table, and I'm in the office, and when I looked down to see what he was up to, here's this crystal in this little bag sitting on the floor here right beside him. And yet I know for a fact that it was out on the kitchen table because I put it out there last night actually, and I walked past it this morning and I thought, yes, I must do that today. I must work on that today. Wow. And here it is sitting on the floor, and I'm thinking, okay, being reminded, I suppose, to hurry up and do me. It's just a funny little incident. I thought, oh, gee whiz, yeah, like to share.
Right. Now that's cool. Because things are moving around, and Spirit's trying to show you. Some people think it's just scary poltergeist or whatever, but no, Spirit also does that.
Yeah, now that I come to think of it too, I had a lady do a little bit of a reading for me, and she said that I had a dragon coming into my life. She's green. Her name, I'll just call her Belle. It was some Frenchy sort of name, and that she was green and she had bits of red on her forehead.
Oh, wow.
And that she's only just sort of young, very young, and that things would start, it's just come back to me what she said, that things would start being moved around. She would be sort of playing pranks on me sort of thing, bit of a prankster because she's so young.
There you go.
And maybe this is the beginning of her really coming out of her shell because she hasn't come out properly yet.
Well, look for more stuff to be misplaced and found.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But I know I don't know what this crystal is. I got it many, many years ago. It was given to me from a guy from British Columbia. He posted it over to me, and I have no idea what it's called. He did tell me, but I've lost the email from all those years ago. And it was a new one that was found at the time. So I keep getting drawn to it now, and I know that I have to cleanse it and energize it and that sort of thing. So I've got to do that today without fail, and hope I don't lose it out on the lawn. Because I don't wait for the full moon. I do mine when I need to, using the pranic energy.
Right. Well, apparently, and this little clock right here keeps looking at me. Spirit's trying to tell you something. Do it now. It's time.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that anyway, because that's...
Well, that's cool, though.
My thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris is saying she's asking because, of course, crystals have certain meanings. So, maybe there's a, related message through that as well.
Yeah, well, not knowing what type of crystal it is, it's only a small one, but I feel that it's very powerful. That's what I've picked up so far. I can't sit down and look at a book and say, oh, yeah, this one means such and such, or that means something or other else. And you use the different ones for different things. I don't use crystals like that. I just hold them, and then I know intuitively what to use it for. And it might be something completely different to what the book says.
Right. That's so true. People, think they have to just go by whatever that, meaning of, but no. There's some rocks that people are like, oh, you need to have this because it's good for such and such. And I'm like, really? Because that's what I use my amethyst for. That's,
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
So it's whatever crystals are you're drawn to you. Trust me, they choose you.
Yeah.
And they come
it's
to
like tarot cards too. I mean, you
Right.
know, when you pack, they say sleep them under your pillow and learn each individual card's meaning, and I could never do that. I kept getting this no in my head because this is many years ago. Many years ago, before the internet even.
Wow.
So I've had to learn everything on my own, and I used to do what I thought were card readings, and they weren't card readings, they were mediumship readings. I know that now.
Right.
I used to throw the cards out, and I'd sit there and I'd think, geez, I don't know what these bloody cards mean. I have no idea what they mean. Oh, well, I'll just go along with it, you know. And I'd sit there and I'd just spit all this stuff out, and people would go away quite happy and got good feedback and that, you know.
Right.
And I still don't know what those cards mean.
I try. It's just like with astrology, and I just can't. I just can't do it. I can't figure it all out. But I do read cards, and when I pick up cards, when I'm drawn to do them, which I'm not hardly ever anymore. I used to do them all the time, but when I'm, pick them up, it's like I know what I just know what they mean. It's like intuitively. It's not just about reading the card. There are a lot of card readers because they're reading the description of what the book said the card means. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's the same with things like the runes as well. It's like what it's got in the book. That's what they're teaching. They're not doing things intuitively. Yeah. And it's sad.
Oh, yeah. It is because you should really connect with it. It's an energetic thing, tool, a thing to be able to use. Like, people in another country don't like it when I use the word tool, because it means a whole other thing in their language. But they're tools.
What tool are you talking about?
I'm talking about the tools like cards and pendulums and all those things. Yeah, not a person's persona, I guess, is what it relates to in some places.
Yeah. Yeah.
The language is another.
Yeah, I'd rather use, when I see something come up on Facebook about what tool do you use, and I think, I use myself. I'm my tool, and I prefer that to using a pendulum or runes or cards or anything else.
Right.
To me, I am more genuine than any of those things.
Right.
Because I've got faith in my intuition and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, I have cake. Oh my gosh, sorry, I saw that. Yeah, but definitely. Tools are a tool. But no, the Google Hangouts have these new props and stuff. And so, wonder if I blow on it, does it? Oh, look, it gets brighter. How strange is that?
Mm.
That's odd. Look, Bryant's the pirate. I gotta get back to that cake and get it off of there.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Christina, come on, you must have something to talk about, sweetheart.
Or does she have pizza now? She was ordering pizza because she was getting hungry.
Still don't have my pizza. A little butthurt about that.
Damn, that's taking a long time.
I know, I'm so hungry. But I could talk about all sorts of things. What do you want? What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about? You're sounding off right now. So
we should talk about ungrateful, like we were talking about earlier. what's the word that you used? Expectant? Was that
Entitled?
Entitled and grateful people. They drive me crazy, Solana.
Yeah, they feel so entitled. Like, come on, and they're rude about it.
Yeah, are so rude about it. And then I find myself trying to find my inner peace when all I'm finding is my inner Mexican, and I want to get ghetto. Be like, really?
Nothing derogatory or discriminative about that. Okay.
No, I do that because I am part Mexican, so I feel like I have the right to say it. Let me make that very clear. I'm not being here. I'm gonna tell you what. When anybody that has any Hispanic grandmothers, they will know. They'll automatically know.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, they drive me crazy. These people that are entitled. It's like in fact, I had someone message me today, and I felt really bad because, I think anybody that has lost someone, which we all have, we want that connection so badly. But there are so many people on the waiting list that it's like, I'm not going to bump you just because everybody feels that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry that you're struggling, and I'll talk to you as a friend, but I'm not gonna sit here and just I have other things to do, and it's crazy.
Right. No, and those are, there's just some very needy people in the world today because, again, they don't know how to get their own happiness, so they're, try and seek it out. It's like I do reading for someone, then I find out that they're actually going to like 5 psychics. I'm like, oh my God, that is so unhealthy.
And that's another thing that drives me crazy is they'll just go from page, and they'll look for and they're not happy with any single one of them.
Right.
And so it's like, why don't you sit still, do some meditation, and find your own answers? Like, what are you looking for? I can make up answers, I guess, if that's really what you want.
Tell you what you want to hear, because that seems to be the only thing that makes people happy anymore.
Oh,
you can't be truthful and say, look, I feel for you, but, if you want a reading, here's my site. you can schedule some time with me. I got to go, because I'm busy. I'm not kidding when I tell people I live my world by appointment.
Oh, no, and I actually did that today, too. I was like, you know what, Solana, she charges for that. If you would like to have a reading with her, I'm sure she'd love to help you with that. So
right. Go to psychic.com.
I was like, Solana can help you with that. She's a great psychic, and, because I have been so busy, I have not been in tune for days, except for with my kids, spirit marks on my kids.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't been really in tune, and so but even then, it's like, who are these people to just private message you and ask for readings? It's like, go through the work and try to figure it out, or, spend the money and go to someone.
Right. And I get that everyone's broke today, but you know what? I'm tired of really hearing that, because I say it all the time, and I know when I say I'm broke, it doesn't mean I'm broke. It means that I don't have money that I want to spend on that.
Right.
That's what I'm broke means. I have money. My money's going over here. I want my money over here, for something. But everyone has money to spend on whatever, and I swear I know that there are some, psychic charges. That's another thing that makes me mad. Everybody charges an arm and a leg. Like, who fucking are you that you're charging over $100 an hour? It's like, give me a break. I only do that when I'm on vacation.
Because it's like, yes, you should be getting paid for your time, just like with anything. But be realistic. Like, I feel people that charge that much, come on. I don't care how famous you are. I don't care. Like, everybody has this ability. Some people are just more in tune than others. I know people hate the word gift, but it's a gift to all.
Right.
So, who are you to sit there and charge $500, $200, whatever for a reading? I think that's ridiculous. That's another.
Especially when you think about the people that are coming to you for readings are not millionaires.
They're not. They're people
not.
Who lost someone that are devastated, and they're looking for answers. They want to make sure that their loved ones are okay. So, just hook them up. Time.
Yeah, but don't feel it. Because it's a gift, everyone thinks that we shouldn't charge. But I tell people, I'm not charging for my gift. You couldn't afford that.
Right.
I charge for my time. And my time is just as important as yours, and it's it's not extraordinarily what I'm anything above what I would consider paying myself.
Right, and I think people should be paid for their time because it is a service. But be realistic about it. You don't have to charge like thousands upon thousands of whatever. I think that's ridiculous.
It is completely. And again, like I said, the people who need that kind of help are not already the millionaires that could care less really about getting a psychic reading. They got money. They say money don't buy you happiness, but it sure does get your bills paid and give you a little extra to go make yourself feel better.
Right.
And so that's the way I think about it. It's like I keep my prices low, so that everyone can afford me.
Right.
And it isn't, again, not extraordinary, but it certainly is, my time, and which I have to schedule out. I'm sorry, I have a life outside of doing readings.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the people who feel entitled and then they're just rude about it, I don't got time for that.
What's funny is I'm gonna chime in on this because I'm part of a group on Facebook, and I won't put them on blast, but sorry, I'm trying to get my camera right. It's funny, the group of people that generally start chastising and or judging or creating that mob-like mentality that we see for the services of someone that can do readings or do healings or do some kind of Reiki work are generally other light workers or psychics, and what they're trying to do is basically cut down the competition by saying, hey, I wouldn't do that. If I had that ability, why would I do or charge for something that is God-given? But what they don't realize is it's a contradicting theory, because religious people that go to church, they're asked to do a tithing, right. Give their part. Not only that, but no matter what industry you're in, and let's face it, if you are taking the time out of your day to do someone a service, underlining service, that is an industry. There is a business involved with that. And now in this day, it's in the sense of money, which has become digital. But back in the day, you would have traded easily for someone's time. If it was something out of your crop or something that is of value that's materialistic, you would have traded for someone's time or service.
Exactly. Even if it was, a craft that you do, maybe your craftsmanship, maybe you build homes. Yeah, definitely. We have gotten into that. And I love that I've been watching these shows on GaiaTV.com about, and it's Gaia TV, it's rather it's Gaia.com. But anyway, Michael Tillinger is talking on there about the Ubuntu theology. And they're talking about, he talks about how money is actually what they those powers that be created as just another form of slavery, and because they're if you look back on other civilizations, they didn't have money, they didn't use money. Romans they didn't use money. I mean, coins and things were found much later, towards the 1300s. Beyond that, it was just simply, like we were saying, it was bartering and trading, and that's why trade even started. It's like, I'll do for, because they didn't have money. It's I'll do for you, you do for me.
That's what it's come down to. I guess my point is it's other psychics, it's other light workers, other people that claim to be in the same realm of energy that are chastising against those that are charging a sum. Now, to Christina's point, there are some psychics that are gouging the industry based on reputation or based on whatever, and that gives everything a bad rap. But realistically, if you're going to give somebody a half-hour reading to an hour reading, there's justification in actually charging a fee, right. Or a bartering ship, if that's something that you're willing to work out, just like you would with any other service that you ask for, no matter what that service is.
Yeah, I have that actually up on my site, where if you can't afford to pay for one of my readings, and you have some kind of a trade, or you have something that you can exchange, barter with me, send me an email. The link's up on the top of my service site. You know, because I want people to, you know, get used to a different way, other than money. We have to. If things are going to change for us, we got to get out of the mentality of that we have to have. You know, we have to have right now to survive. So it's not like it's going to change overnight. But oh my God, what would happen if the dollar crashed? You know, and all of our money, which happened, it's already happened here. You know, back in the 1930s, they had the Great Depression, and the biggest, you know, reason for that was the failure of the banks and the stock market. It could easily happen again. Then what?
Yep, that's true. So you know, anybody that usually starts chastising or creating that mob-like mentality, they're doing it for ulterior motives, or they're just simply a troll. You know, just trying to create havoc and negativity where they can.
You know, and people don't realize this too, that there are actually people that exactly. Little House on the Prairie dog got paid by chickens. Yeah, I'd love to get paid by some good chickens, but dang it,
Chicken's expensive now.
My point. I forgot what I was going to say now. I'm saying chicken.
You know what's funny? What is it? Is it Switzerland? That neighborhoods, you know, grow different types of vegetables and have a certain neighbor will have chickens, you know, for eggs, and you know and they do that with each other in that community where they trade off and they help each other as a community to make sure that they're eating healthy, that they survive, and there's no money involved with that, but they all are putting in the same amount of work and doing trades to make sure they have their variety. Right,
community gardens and everything too, you know? I mean, and if you think about it, everyone in your community, you could just start, you know, because even here where I live, there's up by the pool, you know, there's several huge, you know, spots that you could do a garden in and have everyone just go and spend, you know, like 3 hours a week, you know, helping in the garden and keep it up, and then everyone just goes and, you know, takes it, because oh my God, you can get so much food out of a garden. You know, community gardens. But you can't even do that in some states. You can't grow a garden. You can't grow, especially in your yard. I mean, it's just crazy the way the laws are making it to where they are totally controlling our food in so many different, you know, not just our produce, but meat and everything. Yeah. Chicken.
Well, see, and that leads into where my sound off really comes into. You know, I'm really getting tired of watching us turn into the slaves to society.
Right.
You know, we're working for money now. We're working for something that is becoming something you can't touch. You know, yeah, I can't tell you the last time I've actually done a cash withdrawal from an ATM or my bank. Everything is digital. You know, and I know several people that I talk to are the same way. They don't carry cash on them. You know, and we're working and we're enslaved. We're enslaved to society by the way that it's run, and we've gotten away from being self-sufficient, being neighborly. We've gotten away from being a community, you know, and that sense of community is gone. I can tell you right now, and this is my fault too, I don't know one of my neighbors. I live in an apartment complex. Not one of my neighbors do I know.
Right.
I've said hi to a couple of them, and it's gone just as far as that.
Right.
You know, and I'm a very social person. It's what I do for a living. I'm social, you know.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, they say what you don't do at home what you do for a living, so.
No, but my point is the sense of community is gone. When did losing touch with your neighbors and knowing who your neighbors are become a reality? And again, everybody I know is the same exact way. They don't know their neighbors.
You know, it's true. I only know a few of mine.
You know maybe one of them. You know, and I think it's a direct result to the fact that we become enslaved to society. And I think that it's something that we're all numb to. We've all become routine oriented with going to work, making money, going home.
Exactly.
You know, and my only sense of social society is through work. And that's where it needs to end. You know, so man, it just how do we fix it? You know, and can we fix it? And I think we can. And I think the way we have is we just start with ourselves. Yeah. You know, for me, it bothers me not knowing my neighbor's name, so I need to make it a point to go shake my neighbor's hand and
Introduce
Make
yourself.
them feel uncomfortable.
You know, we used to have back in the day, and it probably stopped when we got into the 80s. Something happened, 80s and the 90s. It was a point though where we called it the welcoming committee. You would actually receive baked goods. Not just baked goods, but list of your pharmacy, your schools, all kinds of neighbor events and things that would happen. Your neighbors would come over and introduce themselves and bring this basket of goodies to you. We don't do that anymore. It's like when you do it, people think you're crazy.
Yeah, it is true. And even when I say hi to my neighbors, they don't make eye contact. They keep their head down. They say hi, and they quickly get in their apartment. Yeah. And I do the same thing. In fact, I'll even catch myself walking into my apartment, and I will hear my neighbors walking up the stairs, and I'm trying to quickly get in so I don't have to say hi. I'm trying to avoid them. We're becoming so enslaved in society that our need for social society, and I don't know if that's a term or not, but I like saying it. Our need for social society is not there anymore, and again, I think it's because of outlets like this,
right?
Social media,
right? I mean, for 20 years now, the internet has gotten spread into people's homes. It used to, before 94, right. Personal computers were not the thing. No. And so, but they were here. They were just, used in corporations and in a bigger capacity for government and military.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't like today. When I was a kid, we went outside and played until the street lights came on, and then we went inside. If you were lucky enough to have street lights. Even
when I was a kid, I'm the '90s kid. Right. Even the '90s kid, we were the last generation to be that way.
Right.
And we were the same way, where we weren't locked in, and it wasn't until I became a teenager that AOL and internet became a thing, and it was fun, it was cool. I was talking to somebody from the other side of the world. Mm-hmm. It was neat, and then it slowly creeped in to where my 20s, MySpace came out, and now we're starting to socialize more. It became half of my social society, and then now I'm 30, and social society exists only on the internet or through work.
Right.
Nobody wants to be personal.
It's even changed the way we date. There is online dating. It's a thing now.
Yeah.
Where you could date someone from another country, another state, just across town, but you don't ever meet. You're just on the internet, online dating.
Something hopefully will give. And this digital outlet will hopefully either evolve to where people start craving that one-on-one social ability and have a friend hang out and feel comfortable enough to actually meet new people and strangers and be trusting enough to develop a friendship with someone that's there. Instead of over the internet.
That's a big thing right now, because I don't know if you saw on Facebook, I posted, I don't know why, but on Facebook I just posted that pedophiles want the same status as a homosexual.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like so grossed out by that. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, what? That's one of those things where there's such a huge judgment on homosexuality. I know that when the Supreme Court released gay marriage as being a legal thing for all of America to uphold, and of course leave it to a state statute, but when they did that, I was hearing crazy comments. Well, I guess I can marry my cat now. I guess I can marry my dog now, and it's
because they took they used to have homosexuality, kid you not, listed as a mental illness. Okay. Right. And so when they removed it from the mental illness, because enough studies and psychiatrists came together and were like, hey, this is not a mental illness. These people are not mentally ill. This is something that they can't control. And so they removed it from the mental illness and put it in the sexual orientation. Well, now, because the pedophiles are, feel like they're discriminated against when they're found out to be a pedophile, they don't like their treatment they're getting, so they want the classification because, again, they want it should be changed from a mental illness, which it's listed as, rightfully so, totally different than being a homosexual, stupid.
It only became a mental illness about 500 to 800 years after the Roman territory was taken over by the Catholic Church, because then it was written in text and in New Testimony and New Testament in the Bible for it to be
which is so asinine as well, because the Catholic Church is the biggest, homosexuals out there and pedophiles that I've ever seen.
But the person doing the writing at the time, when Rome was ruled by the Catholic Church, or still is, I don't know why I'm saying was, when it first took over Rome and that territory, when the Catholic Church took over, writings were being done, and whoever was in charge at that time had a son or a daughter, obviously, that they were against being homosexual, so it was written.
Right.
And since it was written, that's why it's changed. Because if you actually look into history, and you look into Rome being an empire before the Catholic Church, and you see it all over the history books, not just in the books, but in movies like Spartacus. That was a series on HBO that I watched. That homosexuality was accepted just like anybody else.
Right.
So it's one of those things where it became written in the name of God, therefore it got titled as either a sin or it got titled as mental illness. We're curving that culture again. We're evolving back to where acceptance of a person is obviously something that needs to happen again.
Okay, and again, when you want to classify it like that, we're talking about homosexuality between two consenting adults, typically.
Yes.
Even though I understand. What?
That's my point, though, because we got on this topic from you bringing up the fact that post on Facebook, pedophiles are now trying to say, well, if homosexuality is okay, then this should be okay. Well, no, that's not okay. Rape of a child, influencing a child to do something that's not innocent is not okay.
Right.
Being a homosexual, you're born that way. Doing something wrong to a child and having that is not just at all whatsoever. Right. It's not in the same category. It's completely different. That goes back to that post that I think I saw you put on Facebook, 6 months ago, about this individual that was trying to make it to where raping women was a legal thing.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. I mean,
you need to quit trying to lean on other things like homosexuality as the reason why you need to do unjust things, so.
Right, yeah, because I'm sorry, once you open up the floodgates to let pedophiles, say it's okay, basically, to be a pedophile, oh my God. I just read the other day about a man who was arrested for murdering and raping a 1-year-old little girl. And he was invited into the house by the uncle, and the father was there with his daughter for the weekend, and as soon as all fell asleep, that man kidnapped that little girl, took her out of that house, sexually assaulted her, and killed her, and threw her body out.
Yeah, that's just pure evil.
That's and rape. I'm sorry, and then it tried to say that in that article that's posted on my Facebook page right now, that the studies show that sexual abuse it doesn't leave a long-term effect on the individual, so it's deemed to not be as bad. Like, who the hell did they talk to? I want them to call me. I got a list of women that I beg to differ, beg to differ. It took me years. Yeah, and obviously it still affects me because this pisses me off. I'm just, obviously still affected in some way. So don't tell me that it doesn't affect you. When you're being raped, please.
this might be off subject a little bit, but no matter how good or bad our childhoods are, we all are a direct result of what our childhoods represent. You know what I mean? So we're either in ignorance of bliss or we're traumatized.
And repeating the same abuse. You know,
Yes.
it's very, very common for abusers to repeat the same abuse to their children.
Right.
You know, until you break that cycle and realize it's all, what the fuck, this is backwards, this ain't right, I can't allow that to happen to my children. You know, that's the mentality we should be in. Not that, you know, we should let pedophiles think it's okay to rape our children. I don't think so. And I don't care what kind of, you know, pool they say they have. It's because they were probably abused themselves as a child. You know?
There was a lawmaker, and I don't know if it was Texas or what state it was in, but he's trying to pass a law or get a bill to be passed anyways, or a bill introduced to be voted on for men that are being prosecuted and found guilty for being a pedophile to become castrated.
And that wouldn't do any good. I tell people all the time. You know, men don't only rape with their penis. I'm sorry. They find whatever, you know, whatever tool, you know, is handy to them. They will abuse. And most of the time, that when women get raped, the man cannot complete the process. Typically, you know, there's some kind of issue there. So that doesn't solve it. It's a mental thing. It's a community thing, really. It's a society thing. We've allowed it to happen for generations. You know, women that don't say anything, men that don't say anything. It's all behind closed doors. You know, we look like the cleavers on the outside, but inside it's the Roman, you know, torture chambers going on. You know, and we've allowed that to evolve because we're not aware of our conscious thoughts and how they can be affected and manipulated. Right. And it's just and here we are now. It's 2016, and we're talking about, you know, some pedophiles, that a group of pedophiles that got together and have discussed how they feel about, you know, what it's done to them.
You know what? And I think that leading into the next thing, going back full circle to what we were talking about in the beginning on how social media has allowed us to view and feel and see other people's inner monologue, as well as identify our own interpretation and see our own perspective to things. You know, and I think that's where the blessing within social media and actually having a social outlet like this digitally on this digital format is the fact that we are starting to identify and create the thought and reality that our thoughts are reality. And I think that's the whole purpose of this whole thing. And I think that's why it has been allowed to continue, because, you know, being social face-to-face without seeing someone's inner, you know, monologue, you don't get to see that person's inner demons that you would normally see on social media. Right. So this is starting to, I think if people can really tap into who they are as light beings and who they are as positive individuals and who they are as spiritual people and how they can influence and create positivity around them and teach others, this is a good outlet, because if you can maintain that positive creativity and that whole thought process, this is actually a powerful tool.
It is. You just have to learn how to maintain it and not be swayed.
Yes.
You know, because
that's the tough part.
Yeah, that's the tough part, is because it works so subtly. You know, like you read articles and you read, you know, you see a little clip on TV and you see a little clip on social media, and before you know it, you just become complacent and you no longer, you know, discuss or care. You just allow, and that just allows the bullies to run the playground, as they say. You know, because nobody's stopping the bullies. You don't have nobody standing up saying stop. And we need to. We got to.
Yeah.
It's time. Whew.
Shine brighter. Shine brighter. When they throw hate your way, shine brighter.
That's it. You know, that's what I tried to do. No matter what. And trust me, I get a lot of shit thrown at me. And I just keep on shining, because I don't, you know, I can't. I'm a strong-willed person, though. Somebody who's weaker, it's not the same for them. I mean, you know, I know several people who have just, you know, pretty much, you know, gone back to their little corner and don't put themselves out there anymore because they don't want to be hurt anymore. You know, and like you said, with the trust thing, it's hard to start trusting to be able to go back into a community and, you know, do what, you know, what's normal, or not normal, but rather just nice and, you know, respectful. I keep having this flash back in about, I don't know how many years ago now, but in Texas there was a neighbor who, you know, attacked his neighbor because he was mowing the grass the wrong way, moving. You know, I mean, give me a freaking break. This stuff is just getting worse, you know? It's like, I don't know why that keeps flashing in my head, other than, you know, just have respect. You know, who cares how your neighbor is cutting his grass? Who cares that he might be coming a couple inches onto yours? You know, I mean, really? That's how we are, though. We take everything so personal, and I think, you know, you keep talking about how we're creating this and we're creating that, but we're manipulated. You know, that's why the problem is with the law of attraction and with The Secret and, you know, all these things, because we're not supposed to just create for ourselves. That's not even what bartering and trading is about. It's, you know, to edify everyone, you know, with what some semblance of respect, you know, and you know, we're not doing it.
No, you're right. We're not. That's where it comes down to. You know, it does start with you, though. It does start with you, and being able to understand your influence on others. And once you have that understanding of what your little circle around yourself and how it influences another person, then you have a better understanding of how theirs can influence yours.
Yeah,
and
a better understanding of how not to react to theirs.
Exactly. Or not own someone else's energy. You know, that's, I think, anytime you're doing a reading, you pick up on someone else's energy. I know it's taken me all my life to really kind of like, even with dreams, it's the same thing with dreams as it is when I walk next to somebody and I can pick up on their energy. I can pick up on everything that they're feeling and seeing, and it takes a lot to not own those feelings, you know.
Right. That's what
when you're around somebody that's depressed or sad. If you're around somebody that's feeling mourning or some kind of grief or some sort of depression, it's really hard not to own that. You know what I mean? Because
well, it is.
How do you decipher theirs between yours?
You know, but again, like you keep saying, you have to have an understanding of energy.
Exactly.
If you don't have an understanding of energy and how your energy is affecting, their energy is affecting, and how to seal off and protect you, you know, yourself. And you can't just do it to your body. You got to do it to 20 feet around you. And that's how far out your energy is actually extended. And so it's like you've got to start, you know, just clear and not take on and not think. A lot of people who I know are psychics think that they have to take on, they have to feel, they got to take that in so that they can really. No, you can feel it, you can view it, you know, but it's not meant for you to take it on. Just view it so that you can, you know, have compassion and empathy for that person in that situation. But then you give it right back to them. You do not take any of that onto you, any of it.
It's just like watching a movie. You ever watch a really sad movie and then an hour later you still feel weird?
A commercial. I'll watch a freaking commercial and just tear up. I'm like, really? You know, but that's how other people's energy can affect you. And if you're not aware and have that understanding, then you can absorb. We're like sponges. You know, just like little kids, they're absorbing everything. Well, we don't stop doing that just because we become adults. You know, we still absorb everything around us. And so, you know, that's the awareness of being able to change those thoughts in that instant. Not let it stew and, you know, to where, and, you know, even when you do have those thoughts and it keeps coming back, start changing the dynamics of that energy by sending that person love from your heart's energy to their heart's energy, you know, their heart center, their actual heart. From your heart to their heart, you know, send your love to them. Change the dynamics of that thought. That even that they may be, you know, they may be having that thought. You need to start changing it. And if it and if it moves them out of your life, then so be it.
One of the things, and I think that what I'm about to say freaks a lot of people out, but it brings me comfort. You know, because right now Christina's stuffing her face with pizza. That's what she's caring about. She's listening to the conversation. She's nodding her head. You know, and you know, anybody else that's listening to this is gathering what their thoughts and perspectives are, and they're feeling some sort of emotion. So, you know, my whole point is when you really look at yourself and you look at how you're being impacted by others and what influences you may have and how powerful all that is, and then you zoom out, look at yourself in the country, and then zoom out again, look at yourself on this planet and how you are united on this molecule that we call Earth. Then you zoom out again and you look at our universe, and now you can't even identify the species that we are. And you zoom out again and you start looking at other galaxies and how many other energies and all this other stuff, and you start realizing, for being such a small cell in this molecule, how powerful our thoughts are and how they create things. We are all universal. We are all a part of the same, whatever space is. It's the great mystery. We don't really truly understand what it is that we are floating in.
Right. And we feel like we're stationary, but we are freaking flying through the damn area right now, you guys.
Yeah. At tens of thousands of miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing when you really start focusing on how minute and not meaningless.
No, but certainly all one, and no one greater than the other.
So it's amazing when everybody gets all offended and justified, because these energies leave an imprint, and so it goes beyond just how you're influencing someone else, but you're leaving a residual effect every step you make and every emotion you have.
Oh yeah.
People walk into a house and feel the emotions that have been playing out for the last 5 years or more.
Not just that. Oh my God, when I do energy work, when I read chakras, I see the scarring. I read this one lady, she was like, nobody can ever read me. She was in my class, actually, and she's really good psychic. And she was like, nobody can ever read me. And so I started reading her, and oh my God, the scarring, because she had been attacked and stabbed, over 60 times. And it was like that left an energetic scar in her chakra system. So when you're abused, when you're sexually abused, when you're physically abused, when you're emotionally abused, you are giving a shock to that system, and it leaves a scarring.
It's amazing. It's amazing when you realize all that and you start seeing how all of that comes into play.
Right.
And like you said, we're being manipulated because there is a higher intelligence, there's a higher power that's living amongst us, that is causing that cloak of manipulation. And there are those of us that can feel what that is because we are resisting it.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, we're still enslaved. So
exactly, we're still in the system.
We're in the system. We're in this weird matrix, but that we're slowly but surely waking up from. There's a big change coming, and so it's something that it's time to really grasp onto what we can and hold on to what knowledge we can and get ready for this ride that we're all on.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh my God, we've been riding it. I mean, that song that you wrote how many years ago, Hold Your Ground? Yeah. That just keeps replaying through my head every day. I swear, I hear that song going through my head. Hold your ground, hold your ground. Hang on, because.
And that goes beyond just being a human. That's being your spiritual entity.
Yeah.
That's being your universal soul. That who you are, in God's image, and that's
energy.
People forget what that means. It's not just your human body. It's God's image is everything.
Right.
Everything. The grain of sand, the tree next to you.
Yep.
God's image is everything. Yes.
Yep.
We is not just we, the human race and mankind. It's everything. We are all of it. So we are getting ready to go on some kind of transition. The planetary alignment just happened. That was one of the signs.
The twin comets. I saw those twin comets.
Yep.
I saw them with my own eyes. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. You don't ever see it. In fact, fireballs, it was really what they look like, because they're, huge things that are flying across that are on fire. And I've only seen one other one, and that was back in 2008. That's how rare they are. And then to see twin ones, both at the same time, oh my God. And they lasted in my sky, for at least a minute and a half. Because it was a clear sky, and they, started, I'm in Florida, so they were they were headed east. I mean west, and
Yeah.
just lasted in the horizon for me, and I couldn't believe it. And everyone's saying it's this last sign for the Hopi prophecy.
Well, see, the Hopi prophecy is actually a really neat prophecy. Something that I've studied for a long time, and you know, it's going to come down to a spiritual and a species choice. You know, and right now we're on the brink of collapse or absolute great society, and it's going to be one or the other.
Right.
You know, and ultimately the end result will be the same. So why don't we choose the easier path and make a great society and not end it in fiery flame and have to rebuild from ashes?
You know, and unfortunately,
you know?
it's not up to us. We're not the ones who control the nukes. You know, we are. You know, and this planet is known to blow itself up. You know, I mean, societies on this planet have blown themselves up. Oh, it's happened, and we've done it ourselves in war. You know, I mean, with the Hiroshima. Oh my God.
We did it 2.2 billion years ago on Mars. That's why we're here on Earth.
You know, that's what people are saying. It's not the first time and you know, here we are again. And again, Bo, it's not up to us, because if we want to say that there are other energies manipulating us and instigating and, you know, infiltrating us, we're not held responsible for everything that happens. I'm not saying that I'm going to go out and murder people because, you know, the energy's telling me to do it. I've got more control over myself than that. Some people don't. You know, but so we have to know that there's other things going on. You know, don't take it so personal anymore. You know, stop taking it so personal. I'm a divergent. Definitely a divergent, because I'm not going to follow. I don't follow the grain of sand, and you know, I don't follow the way it's supposed to be done. You know, and more people need to, you know, realize that that's the way it's going to end up. You know, divergents are the ones that actually took over. So, hello, did you see the last one? But anyway, but yeah, you know, we have to start. You know, like we keep saying, there's all this stuff happening. We can go on and on and on and talk about the atrocities, and you know, that's why I want to do this show, because I know every week there's going to be different things to be able to go off about. You know, but we want solutions too. You know, we want to know how to go about, you know, getting around so we can protect ourselves and do better. And it really does start with, you know, being aware of that inner talk, because be aware that talk's not always yours. You know,
I think that's where, you know, I like to say it starts with yourself. You know, don't ever try to help someone unless you know that you're in a good spot to do it. Having that said, if you are not in a good spot to help someone, that means that you probably need help. Don't turn help down.
Yeah.
You know, so if someone's giving you a lending hand, remember that that's a blessing and an offering. Accept your help, get on your solid ground, and then help the person next to you and continue that trend and teach that.
Right.
Be in your heart, because then no matter what happens, you know, your light being and your light source on the inside will evolve with or without your body. One thing that is inevitable, and something that is, well, the only certain thing in life is death.
Right.
You know, so don't worry and stress about how it's going to end, because it will end. One way or the next, your reality will be over and a new one will begin. So don't get caught up in that, and just worry about whether or not you need help, if you are in the position to help, and when you are, help.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the most important part here with everything. That's my perspective, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm right, but I
know.
That's
you know,
how
I
lead my
agree. I agree. We have to help. You know, that's why I do what I do. You know, because I want to help other people. You know, empower them so that they don't need to go get help. You know, I mean, that's the way I do. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, because we could go ramble on, and I'm sure that it's been enlightening, and I wish that more people would come in and sound off with us, you know, and because we need to be able to know that it's okay, you know, and we're going to make it better by talking about it, without slandering, without calling anyone out, without, you know, going through the rigmarole of what happened, where, when, why, and what they really are like in their personal life. But but at the same time, you know, talk about it, get it off your chest, know you're not alone, You're not the only one going through the crap that you're going through. We all are. Even for those of us, like Brian and myself, who sit here and talk to you about it, we know it because we experience it. Where I don't talk about nothing I haven't experienced, and so that's what we all can do. But let's be real, and get to solutions on how we can come together as a community, and really just start changing things. Otherwise, it's going to stay the same status quo. It's going to be like this all the time. It doesn't matter who's in office. It doesn't matter who you work for. It doesn't matter who you're married to or in a partnership with. It's going to stay the same unless we start changing it. Because those powers that be can push a button anytime and poof, we'll be gone. And so what does it really matter? That little argument, that little, thing that bugged you. What does it really matter? In the bigger picture of things, it's nothing. So thank you, ladies, for coming in and joining me. And Brian, thank you. I always enjoy talking to you. Of course, you're my son, so I love you. So, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and push the button to say goodbye. So, but be sure.
You.
Oh, thank you, Barbara. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Brian. It's been really great listening to you both this morning. It's morning for me. It's Saturday morning.
Right. Yeah. Yes, she's slightly ahead of us. She's in the future. See, Barbara lives in the future, and it's still okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Thanks
All right.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. And then be sure and come back on Wednesday for me and Belle. Come chew some chat fat. Come chew. I can't even talk. Chew the fat with us. And then of course we'll be back here. That one's at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, so 8 o'clock in the morning for you. Yeah, because it's 8 p.m. Yeah, it's 8 p.m. for us. And then we have another show on Sunday at 11 Eastern.
My Thursday morning.
That's right. That's your Thursday morning. And so when our Sunday show would be your Monday, and that's at 11 o'clock Eastern. So yeah. And Thursday, oh my God, yes, Miss Chris is going to start doing her makeup show again on Thursday. And so, yeah, really cool chick that does makeup. You want to go and see her. She's beautiful, and her techniques are just, anyone can do them. She's going to show you how. And that's Thursdays at 4 o'clock Eastern. So, yay! Got a good lineup going. I'm excited, and we're going to keep it rolling. So be sure and check back, and we'll schedule them as they come on board. So, yay! I'm excited. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. So we'll see y'all next time.